Avengers, as in Captain America.
Oh yeah. You are being the elitist on some. Nah, they didn't bring it home the way the comic books did. It's not a comic book, it's a movie.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's an entirely different form of art. You don't do it justice by comparing it. You know.
Yeah. So I actually do agree with it.
Yes.
So it
wasn't an argument. It wasn't an argument. I'm just like.
We actually argued, but
I was like, when did this happen?
No, I didn't say we argued. I said we went back and
Alright.
forth. But
Are we set?
Yeah, okay.
I'm ready. Hey, welcome to it. My name is KRYTIC, K.R., aka the best rapper in Zambia, and welcome to the Ethos Podcast. To my left, who do I have?
You got Dan Otomelo, man.
Alright.
That should be like on the right.
Your left.
I'm to your left.
Muka.
yeah, Sesame Sage, Moses, Chilunjika.
Alright.
I'm sure you're wondering, is this dude from Chipata or something? Like, what kind of name is Sesame Sage? Is that like your real name?
Is that your real name?
He's from Naruto.
It's like Moses backwards, so yeah.
Oh, so your name's Moses?
Yes.
Alright, cool. Great. That's nice.
That sounds dumb.
No, your name is Moses. It's cool.
Alright. So we got KR.Y.T.I.C joining us.
Good.
I low-key do not know your real name either.
Victor.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
You're a Victor.
Yeah, I'm a Victor.
Victorious.
Yeah. What were you thinking it was?
You look more like a...
You thought my parents named me KRYTIC?
Like a
No,
James.
As in they're cool, but not that cool. I mean, not that cool.
You thought James.
James, he looks more like
James.
James. Like a James.
Ben.
Ben?
My dad's name was Ben.
Oh,
yeah.
So there is Ben in the family.
Yeah.
Alright, awesome. Yeah?
Now you didn't get a chance to think what his name could be.
What would you have bet on?
George.
George.
Yeah.
Bruh.
I realized that's the first name that came
George
to my
of
mind.
Hungry Jungle.
I've got
Yeah.
George vibes. Damn.
Well, you were close.
Yeah,
So,
definitely Ben.
Good
Good vibes.
Alright, dude, what have you been up to, man?
A lot, man. A
Yeah.
lot. Not to be cliche, but there's a lot that's been going on.
Yeah.
You were part of the tour.
Yep.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of independent stuff for independent artists, and basically that's like we'll dive into it as we go through it. But yeah, we've just been finding our own feet, doing our own thing, and just rocking out.
Alright,
Yeah.
so we had the Hot Boy Summer Tour. Is there anything else that you're like liberty to talk about?
On the day that this drops,
Yeah.
I'll have new music. But right now they have no idea.
Okay.
So I want to say
They will
exclusive,
listen
but
to this.
to
I
be on
think
the
it
very day.
I
So
think it is.
exclusive.
It's
Heard it here
exclusive.
first.
yeah, dope.
In fact, you know what we could do?
Yeah.
We could play it at the end.
Yeah. Just keep it
Shoot, why not?
High value content. See
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Alright, looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Bro, you dabbled, well, you basically live and breathe music.
Mm.
Is that all that you do, or is there anything else or other things that we don't know about Victor?
Nice way to put me out there.
Address you by your government name.
Yeah. All things art related.
Sorry.
That's so professional of you.
Very professional.
Unconventional.
That's what it is.
Fireside
Bad.
Great
Yeah.
ethos, by the way.
Oh.
Boom.
So I do copywriting.
Yeah.
I put together scripts. I do ads, voiceover acting. Not at liberty to say. I mean, what the hell? I'm doing acting next year, like
Okay.
actual acting. I just can't speak on it, but
Yeah.
you're gonna be seeing me on the screen as well.
Is it one of these new GSTV projects?
Not at liberty to say, man.
Oh, so it's
Nice
like
try,
not yet.
nice try.
Yeah.
It would have come out.
Is that something that you went to school for?
No,
Or- Yeah,
no,
you
I don't
just
do
got into it.
anything I went to school for. This is
Right.
like self-taught. Everything is self-taught. Nothing. Like I don't believe in that structure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just don't.
Okay, so if you had to build up some kind of a hierarchy with regards to your craft and like everything that you're involved in, where would you place music? Like, is it
Number
top
one.
tier? It's top tier.
Number one.
So
It was the first one. It was.
So let's start there.
Okay.
How did you get started with the whole music thing?
So I only realized recently, looking back on those memories, but I think my dad low-key wanted to do music, but I think life had just caught up with him.
Yeah.
I remember, do you guys remember Makoma? There was a time when so like this whole thing of like family music groups or something like that. My dad once passed a comment while watching a video and it was like, yo, we should do something like that, like our family.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, yeah, I could be the rapper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because I was into that. That was the culture. Like,
Yeah.
rap didn't come to us as just music.
Yeah.
It was like the clothes. It was like the walk. It was the talk. It was. So I was vibing with that. You know. So I started researching more into that. You know, finding artists I liked, finding artists who were similar to me, shared ideas with me, and just took it from there. Man.
Oh yeah, and that would be roughly about when?
Whoa.
Yeah.
So it's probably in stages, right? Like when I was a kid, I used to hang around my mom a lot, and she got me on reading.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Reading got me on pop culture, right?
Yeah.
And I got into like, my first hero was like Michael Jackson.
Nice.
And we had all these tapes in the house
Yeah.
of like Michael Jackson and stuff. So this was like, say, 94.
Nice. Okay.
You know,
All right. I was a little baby then, but you know.
I didn't know it then, but I was trying to pen music together.
Yeah.
I didn't know it, but
Yeah.
I was trying to piece together music. So only when I look back now, I'm like, oh yeah, those were raps.
Yeah, and that's like a fine line. As in, I'm assuming your dad came from the creative side of things, and then your mom was more on the conventional, get a day job, blue collar background.
I think they
or-
were both
yeah?
conventional.
Okay.
Yeah, I think people from that generation, because of the aftermath of the last World War, you know, when industry came in and the art sort of took a back foot. So that's why our parents were striving for us to go to school.
True.
Because it was what they came
Kind
out.
of like
That was the
reforming.
situation. When they were kids, they all wanted to be artists.
Yeah.
Then life became hard.
Yeah.
They're like, man, your only way through is like a paper. Get yourself a paper. So I didn't really have a parent who was like more for the creative aspect of things. You know, like both of them were like, this is distracting you from your studies.
Oh yeah, I was about to get there. I was about to ask what their take is on what.
My dad passed away. He wasn't really. He never really got a chance to express himself that much about it.
Yeah.
Around the time he passed away is when like we were getting to talk. We never spoke much when we were young, right? I mean, when I was young.
Yeah.
Him too, I guess. My mom really didn't. I guess she just loved me. She didn't care that much what I was doing, but she watched TV and Pac had just died. So that's what she thought hip hop was. You know what I mean? She was like, as long as you're safe, it's fine.
Yeah.
But when she would walk in and catch me bumping Hit Them Up, it's like, why are they swearing so much?
So she bought into the stereotype.
Yeah, she bought into the stereotype. And I didn't help. Like, that was the age I started getting into fights. You know what I mean? Like, just like, that's
It's
what
a
you're
hip
listening
hop.
to. Yeah.
Okay, so there was Michael Jackson in the house, but who did you grow up listening to?
It was Pac.
It was
It was
Pac.
Pac. I was on. So there was this whole culture in my neighborhood of buses. When we used to go to school by bus. This was like when they gave you freedom.
Which school was that?
I was at K.R.Y.T.I.C. It was a boys' school, right?
What was it?
K.R.Y.T.I.C. This is in Ndola. Oh, there's a whole story about like how I was in a cult when I was a kid.
Let's talk about
But yeah, we can jump on that later.
the country?
The country.
Yeah. In,
Zambia.
There comes, yes,
No,
but I'm
I've been
surprised.
shielded
Like
from a lot
someone
of
watched
things.
Bro, like the world is big.
Ah.
The world is huge. Just open your eyes. It's like, it's huge. I was in a cult. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 100% sure I was in a cult as a kid. Yeah.
A satanic cult?
So I think it was like a pedophile cult.
What?
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. That's like I suspect. But anyway, I'll explain this.
So that was in Ndola, and what was the school called again?
K.R.Y.T.I.C.
Satisai.
Yeah, it was a school built by Indian benefactors in Zambia.
Okay.
So they had this whole like how they send you abroad on like these posh schools, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like a bit of a private-esque school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does Satisai mean? Do you
I have
know?
no idea.
Oh, okay.
It's a cult, bro. I've been
Yeah.
telling you.
Okay.
I got out.
So let's sideswipe into that.
Yeah.
What called?
All right, so here's
Break
what
it
it
down
is,
for us,
right?
Yeah.
When I became troublesome, my dad took me to this school because
Yeah.
it was known for like discipline, right?
The same side to side.
Yeah, it was getting excellent results.
Yeah.
Right in the town, like 100% pass rate.
Kids are disciplined.
Yeah,
they
like
pass.
And they made us wear white, so you had to keep your uniform. And like I was a kid, my head's all over the place. Hated keeping my shit white. You know what I mean? And it was a Jade school, man.
Yeah.
So we had this auditorium, right, where they said this school does not recognize any one religion. So we pray to all religions, right? So the auditorium had like Islamic symbols, Hindu symbols, like they were teaching you like all religions, like a very Hindu idea, right? However, kids who would reach the 9th grade get an opportunity to fly to India to meet Sai Baba. Now, Sai Baba is the interesting aspect of the story.
All right.
This guy lives in India, pops up one day and says, guys, I'm from the past and the future. And you can Google this. I'm not crazy.
Sai Baba is a bad man.
Yeah, he had come before, back in the days,
Yeah.
and then he showed up with this picture of a kid and he said, this is my future incarnation called Sai Prema. Right?
Whoa.
So he started investing in these schools and then boys' schools. And then boys would be flown there, right? And I was in the school. And rumors started circulating amongst us like, yo, this dude touched us.
Wowzers.
Yeah. So now think about this. An Indian deity funds a school in Zambia that sends him boys. Right?
Definitely a call.
Right?
Yeah.
Mad cult.
I would ask if something happened to you, but
No, I was
Even
in
if
one
it-
of the smart ones.
even if it did,
That was like for the
yeah.
smart kids.
Yeah.
Like the ones who used to excel. What? Yeah, like the ones who would excel. Like, man, I wish I could say names.
Wait.
Like,
Let's say school. Which grades were those?
This was like, so I started hearing about this when we were getting to like maybe 7th grade.
And the ones were taken when.
Well, like 9th grade.
Perks of being average, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
right.
I was like,
I'm
God, you
just-
were so bad at school.
I'm just thinking, you're smart and you're in grade 9. In grade 9, I was quite hefty. And you,
Bruh.
someone is touching you. I think I'll be brutal. I think I'm just.
Okay, here's the thing.
Oh,
Here's the thing, yeah, here's the
They
thing.
looked at
Yeah.
this man as, I don't know.
This
was he
dude
a
was
man?
like, you
Yeah.
could Google this dude. Like, please look this guy up.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
guy was in our school halls, and we thought he was God.
Whoa.
Right? We thought he was God. We were taught he was God at a young age. I went to that school in grade 5. I left in the 9th grade.
Above Krishna.
We thought, yeah, like I don't know what the deal is.
you know
They
that
just
thing
said like
with
they have a lot of gods. I'm like,
the
what?
millions of gods. They
Yeah.
don't really have hierarchy unless you're in a specific sect.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I thought, you know, it was.
Like what was it? There's a
Cheers.
documentary I saw in India. The some girls are taken to this goddess
Yeah.
who separates them from society,
Yeah.
and they're given off to the priests at the temple.
Cult.
Yeah, basically. and
My cult senses are tingling.
when you watch the documentary culturally,
Culturally.
the idea was
Culturally.
the idea was
Is it weird that culture starts with cult?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. This 4 episode, I told you.
I'm
You're not
scared
ready.
now.
You're not ready.
Oh,
But yeah, I just also believe like, you know when people say like a cult, right? It seems like this deep mystical thing. There's just sick, twisted people out there in the world,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Who just prey on like the minds of the weak or the minds of the insecure and things like
Naive.
that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
hot take, that's also how I view the structures of religion,
Mm.
right? Like, I just think it's mass control of people.
Mm.
You know, like, think about in this country how, like, the homosexuality aspect can be used to
Yeah.
sway a vote.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
anti-gay is equals to anti-opposition party now. And it's such
Yeah.
a fine
Yeah.
line to toe,
So-
right?
pro government is pro homosexuality.
No, sorry, I meant that the other way around.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've actually been following that, but
Okay.
It's such a weird distinction to make.
Yeah,
you
it
know
is.
what I mean?
It
Like,
is because I didn't.
People who are
I didn't
supposed
even
to-
see that like coming through like homosexuality. Well, I know
well,
where
it's, yeah.
generally Africa is just.
Well, you never heard about.
And that's a weird thing. Like,
Yeah.
Africa has got a history of homosexuality.
Yeah.
Like, our kings and chiefs.
No, every
it's documented.
every culture has that.
What came and changed that idea?
Mm.
Christianity.
We'll dive into that.
Right?
Did you hear about the homosexuals that were locked up for 15 years?
For 15 years, yeah.
15 years.
Oh yeah, my girlfriend actually put a comparison.
Yeah.
What is it? Rape compared to homosexuality. Like it's
Molestation.
molestation is less a punishment than homosexuality
Yeah.
itself. Yeah.
What's your take on that? The whole 15 years thing. Do you feel
Dude, like,
yeah?
let people be. Like, come on. Like, bruh, it's 2019. Like, we now have information. We know that I was a homophobe growing up, right? I was a homophobe growing up. And I had to dive deep and find out what's the problem.
Yeah.
What are you mad at? You know what I mean?
I'll give you a perspective, because here's the problem. Most of these ideas that are brought in are systematic. So like you, definitely one way or the other, the system says you should be pro freedom, right? And being pro freedom means siding with the gay, like all the rights should be there, right? And then religion is now being tied to political systems, when in fact those political systems are the ones that bent religion to their whim.
You don't think religion is a political system?
Let me explain to you
in
now.
and of itself?
Let me explain to you now.
The macro, maybe.
Yeah, just
the micro.
on the surface, right? Christianity will say homosexuality is a sin. It does not say stone him because he's homosexual. Do you get the difference?
Yeah, but then it also hangs like eternal damnation over your
head.
No,
that's the thing. Look. If you're going to be homosexual, right? You feel that is the truth,
that's
right?
Who you are, yeah.
Yeah. Why should you depend on a religion to guide you?
It's because human beings need those things.
Need what?
Validation for their existence.
What validation? From the Bible that says no to you?
Yeah.
Why the Bible? Why not your society?
Suppose they tell you you're going to live in the sky with a guy who's like...
No, that's the thing. Look.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean? Like,
so we're definitely opening up this Pandora's box here. So we're just going to dive into it.
Yeah, we'll get back.
What's your take on spirituality, and where do you stand as far as like faith is concerned? Are you a believer? Are you a skeptic? Are you agnostic? In a cult?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's how I look at this. Every day I wake up and nobody has explained what this is. Right? What this whole thing is. You know what this is. Like, what is this thing that we're experiencing?
Oh, life in general.
What is it? Nobody has brought me a conclusive report on what this is. Right?
Yeah.
And we all sort of like walk around pretending we're okay with that. I am not, personally. I'm like, what's this?
Yeah.
It's irritating me that I don't know it, right?
Yeah.
So what I believe in is this is too tangible to not be controlled.
Oh, I see what you mean.
You know what I mean?
I see what you're going.
Yeah.
I believe human beings, in their curiosity, find names for that thing.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
That's control.
I don't know if any of them are correct. I don't know if any of them are wrong. But I believe that thing also has got rules, what may be called spirituality.
Okay.
Right? There's like rules of how that operates. Like,
because we fear what we don't understand.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, even just this whole homosexuality aspect is engrossed in fear.
Yeah,
it's a very weird fear.
Are you now directing the thing to fear? Because the terms you use, control, right?
Yeah.
And now fear is an element.
Yeah.
So that thing can be fear itself.
I wouldn't know. I'm not there. Like, I also don't have all the answers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't know.
But so far, what have you seen for yourself?
What I've seen is that human beings are amazing. You know, that's what kind of matters to me. I don't care what you believe in.
Yeah.
I don't care what your creed, your sexual orientation is.
That's
human beings are
I actually
amazing.
sense that in you. Like,
for real?
Yeah, that's why I brought up the phrase that why should you rely on
that
an item to dictate you? Because clearly for you, the way it sounded like is you there's this just from the beginning. You wake up, you realize you are in existence, right? Yeah. And you know, and that's the nice part. Anyone who does not know that there is an entity beyond yourself is someone who's very lost. So just at the point where you say there's something that should control this tangibility, this existence, for me to even know, to be able to say, hey, I'm alive.
This self-aware.
Yeah. So the moment you brought all these elements, I just saw someone who's actually placed himself into existence, like you are there, but this controlling thing, I wonder. Then they give us all sorts of ideas. They give us ideas of heaven. They give us ideas of hell. They give us ideas of wrong and right. But what does it mean? I think that's where your question still remains, eh?
For me, that's what I was saying, like, for me, it's political structure, right? That's what I think religion is. It's a political structure to control a large group of people at once, right? Under the pain of eternal damnation.
That's why I was trying to tell you. Like,
but outside of all of that, my new thing is like, people are amazing.
Yeah.
Like, human beings in and of themselves are just amazing creatures.
That's true.
We came from like whatever it was that we were doing the Stone Age.
Something that was perfect.
2 podcasts, you guys. 2 podcasts.
Orangutans
You
are
ain't paid
built
to listen to no orangutan podcast.
let me finish this. Orangutans are engineering fishing
Techniques.
equipment.
Serious.
Yeah, fishing tools. So scientists are saying that orangutans are just now jumping into the Stone Age.
Yeah, nice.
Because they're able to fish using.
Now
wait for them to get here.
Yeah, it's happening.
They might have a better shot than we do.
There is a
They're
difference.
building fishing tools and fishing with the tools.
On their own.
Yes.
I don't believe it's on their own.
Can we?
It's through observation. Like even us, for us to.
Oh, that's what you mean.
It's, yeah, like I'm
Do you
sure
think the US is sending them like videos?
Yes, I actually think so. I think there's a tablet somewhere.
This is wilderness, so it's happening.
Here's the thing. If that's happening, do they have control over an opposable thumb?
You see, but isn't that such a human being thing to?
That's the thing. They say this is the difference.
Probably.
But now,
those are your parameters.
Bro, they're orangutans. You know
I'm not saying we evolved from
they
them.
can eat a banana.
I'm just telling you what I came across recently.
Okay, but other things that have happened with the same orangutan, swinging. They use sticks and they actually swing with them. I've seen clips of that, and you think, no.
And chicks smoking cigars and
no, that's trained.
They get addicted even.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Like nicotine addicted.
Okay. All right. Okay, but just to get out of the sideswipe, where do you stand as far as that's concerned? Like, are you seeking answers, or you're like, you know what, I'm just going through the motions and I'm just gonna make the best of my life as it is and just appreciate humanity and boom, that's it.
Yeah, that's the second one.
I answered your question.
That's spot on. I'm not gonna.
Gosh darn it!
I'm not gonna sit down and wait for the answers. There's other stuff I could be doing now. This is clearly obscure for a reason.
What's that reason?
I don't know. It's none of my business. Whoever put this together, that's their business.
But here's the problem. Here's the problem.
Like, do you think video game characters care about how good you play them?
No, that's the thing. Video game characters. Video game characters don't ever come out to say on their own that, hey, homosexuality is okay, but why is this book saying no? And yes, they're giving us the idea of heaven or hell. They can't come up with those questions and say, hey, but why are you telling homosexuals they can go to heaven or hell? The question, that's skepticism, this is not right.
Just judging each other and like, look, man, just think about it this way. Treat people the way you like to be treated.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, if clearly we know, like, these people have told you time and time again, like, guys, we know that this is strange to y'all. You know what I mean? But this is happening to us as well. And we didn't choose this. And the day you judge someone over something they didn't choose, you lose my respect. That's just it. Like, that's the bottom line.
Let me ask you a question. This is going to sound offensive to some degree, but it's about the question about choice itself, right? We have the freedom to choose, right? Choice. Let's try to remember that. You're dating a girl today. You're usually into girls with figure, right? And those are the ones you've been going with all this while. And then all of a sudden you find this slender girl. You hug her and you're like, this is the best hug. This is the hug that I deserve. This is the one, right? Does that mean when you were dating those others, you're not into the curvy?
How did you jump here?
I'm just saying.
How do we get here?
How did you get here?
The
What's
thing
this
is,
about?
here's the thing.
Where did you see me?
Yeah.
Spot on.
Here's the thing.
I thought I was alone. Shit. When does this air? No,
Yeah.
Look, man, when it comes to that, right, I guess what you're trying to, choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
The
agree
thing
with
is,
you there.
here's the thing. Social behavior, right? Consciousness. Consciousness, social behavior, intelligence, all of these contradict the idea of conditional and non-conditional experiences with your body. To start with, for example, to become an athlete, what do you have to do? Train, right?
Mm-hmm.
But others are born more prone to that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say, I did not choose to be homosexual, how many did? How many did not? Everyone wants to lump everything together, giving one experience.
But I guess like you would also have to take into account that they're just speaking on their behalf when they say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
they're also an individual person.
Yeah.
So they're telling you like, I did not choose. And by the way, I arrived at this by speaking to people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I went like, and that's the thing people forget to do, finding out how they actually feel about it.
Yeah.
Like go and speak to people. Sit down, my guy. Get over your stupid fears. Sit down and find out that they're just people.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth. I'm just looking at the choice of I'm homosexual
But
and I have no control over it.
So you're saying
I'm
a
saying
choice?
when, for example, I came to you and said, Africans like hipped people, but no one can.
Still
No
don't know how
African.
to make that
The
comparison.
thing is, look, it's preference. You
That's what
like
I'm saying.
males or
You think-
females?
You think it's a choice.
I'm saying society itself has built that into something that you're against. Society has programmed us to think that
It's a choice.
when you see it on media, it is the way it is. When there are two sides to the spectrum, you have seen homosexuals who have come out to say, I actually didn't know that I was in the wrong place. I didn't know that I was influenced by this and this. I didn't know that I had made the wrong choice. I didn't know that the influences and this and this. It's always something to say influence. Then society tells you, hey, you should feel okay. You should, because when you feel you're gay, it's definitely not your choice. Who said? Before you have analyzed yourself, you cannot just say, I am this. Just like the ones who say, I am Z or Z or they or I am female and then I'm going to win championships. You know what I mean, right?
Okay.
No, as in, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think we should take it more seriously than saying, I'm homosexual, I have no control of it. Are you sure? Because if you are not and you go into it and you find challenges.
Answer that, the people I've spoken to, all right, I'm speaking on behalf of me and the people I've spoken to.
Yeah.
I'm yet to come up with somebody who said, I'm yet to meet somebody who said, I didn't know for the longest time. Everybody I've met, everybody I've spoken to was like, from when I was a youngster, I knew there was something up with me. I knew there was something different about me. And like, it played out in so many different ways. Some people became hyper aggressive, but it was still in there, deep down inside. You know what I mean?
Hyper aggressive.
Like being the most macho nigga in the world, just to hide it.
To play it off, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay, see.
But that's still there. So when they turn right back around and say, false. They turn right back around.
Good Lord.
So when they come back around and say like, I didn't know what I was doing, also bear in mind that my source material is a bunch of people who are saying, I've always been this way. All right. And those are what I can speak to, my experience. I'm not an expert on this whole thing.
Exactly, yeah.
You know
But people want to come out and act like they are.
That's for them.
Like the school you were at, if all the teachers were saying, hey,
I was at your side.
We just want to
you want to research about it.
Dude, Google this. Google this, dude. You people, everybody listening to this, Google that, dude.
Wait.
Okay,
It's
let's say at the
Well
same
coined.
school, instead they were teaching you, whenever you feel gay, it is not your choice. It's not a psychological thing sometimes, it's always biological. Would you think anyone who came out to say, wow, this guy looks attractive, I'm definitely gay, do you think they'll come out to say, I want to contemplate it, or they'll just say, yeah, I was born this way?
I wouldn't know that.
You wouldn't,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
the system right there would indoctrinate them to believe,
but
this
look,
is the way it
you're
is.
speaking in a lot of hypothetical.
It's not hypothetical.
Right?
We've got
I can
evidence.
only speak to you of my experience, and I keep saying that.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a pro on this. I can only speak of my experience.
But
so asking me to go wade into those waters,
systematic. This is individual.
And we're back on the road. We sideswiped.
Yeah.
Now we're back on the road. Apologies, both of you. So side to side happens. You're
Damn, that's where we were.
exactly. So,
Yeah.
are you doing music at the time?
I'm battling at the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was a growing battle culture in Ndola at that time.
Okay.
Yeah, so like it was.
I'm sorry to bring this up, but have you heard of
Reservoir
the Reservoir Dogs?
I actually went for one of them.
What?
Yeah, I actually like they called me up.
Was it filmed?
Yeah.
What?
It's
Is it on
filmed.
YouTube?
Yeah, you can check.
Search for this.
And you performed.
Yeah, I wanted. First
Okay,
of all, listen. Those are a bunch of kids who were supporting hip hop culture.
Yeah.
They may not be the best rappers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm a fan of hip hop, right? So I saw some kids who were doing the wrong thing because of lack of knowledge. So instead of me sitting back and just like giggling and laughing about it, I showed up and I rapped for them just to give them the idea, like be practical about the things you want to see happen in life. You know? So
Cool.
you can search it out on YouTube. It's there.
We'll do. We're taking down notes, right?
I've
Okay.
seen some.
So you get involved with the battle scene in Ndola. What happens from there? Are you thinking, I should be recording music at this point?
Yeah, but that just didn't exist at that time.
Okay.
Studios were too expensive.
Yeah.
It just didn't exist, and we didn't. We had one studio in Ndola at that time. It was called Mission Press. It was like maybe the equivalent of say 700 kwacha to have a song done.
Yeah.
But it was professional stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
This is where Glorious Band recorded all their albums.
Oh,
from.
nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So we just didn't have facility. We were kids in school. You know what I mean? So what we did was just go to the streets and battle on street corners.
Yeah.
And like it was like inter school, inter neighborhood, and things like that. Just like they did it in the States.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So through this, I meet a kid called Italo Morelli, Defi, and he sort of like became my yardstick because he's to date the best rap I've ever heard in my life.
From in your life?
Yeah, in my life.
Not just
across the world.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's across the world, and he doesn't rap anymore. He's a lawyer now. He's like, but he's the hardest one. He's insane, right? So he's who helped mold me.
Oh.
Like first writing skills and whatever. He put me on the path. And
Interesting.
everything.
Yeah. Okay, so you.
He also took me to my first studio.
Okay, yeah, I was
Yeah.
about to get there.
Yeah,
so fast forward, you're at the studio.
We're making songs.
Yeah.
One of the people I made a song with came to Lusaka. I ended up on radio on QFM on a breakfast show.
Okay.
So I had sent them with a demo when
Yeah.
they came to Lusaka. It's like 6 months prior to them reaching.
Yeah.
Then I received a phone call like, yo man, you're on heavy rotation on QFM.
Wowzers. Okay.
And that was the week that I was coming to Lusaka for school. So it just weird coincidence came through. Dude just said, just walk into QFM, they must know you. Walked into there, got my first manager.
I like that you brought up coincidence. So sideswipe again.
Okay.
Fate or coincidence?
Coincidence.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
Like you just happen to be at the right place at the
There
right
was too
time.
many variables, man.
Alright.
Way too many. There's what? How many billion variables? How many billions of us are there, man? Like,
No, Muka is holding
he wants to fight with me.
No. Should we get back on the road? Or
Let's
do you have?
let's go on the
I
road.
mean,
Okay,
also
okay.
bear in mind, like these are just my beliefs. I keep
Yeah.
saying that.
No, this
I
is
keep saying
No,
that.
because here's the
we
thing.
are here to pick
Yeah,
your brain.
the-
Right? We want to talk
The thing
about
is, like,
your
experience. So when I push on something,
Mm.
I really want to see where you're going.
Yeah.
Using external evidence is difficult. Like
Mm.
you can't really get your personal pick on it. You can have the influence from it, but what's your personal take? So you drew on that, you kind of dig it out,
Yeah.
and that's what I was hoping for. But there were a lot of escapes. But the fate and coincidence thing, I don't know. I have no idea. It's we'll get back.
Okay, so we're back on the road, and
Yeah.
okay, this is your first time in the studio. How do you have the confidence? Were you happy with what you recorded at the time? Were you confident in yourself?
No, I knew I wasn't as good as it.
Yeah.
And you see, that's the thing. You need to know what you don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I knew, like, I used to listen to like a Jay-Z tape and then listen to mine and be like, why isn't this as good as this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I knew there was something lacking.
Yeah.
So I started watching docus, finding information. Those days, like Source magazines would come to
research.
Find out people are like, no, Jay-Z takes his takes like 15 times just to get it right. And, all right, let's try that.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Like, you felt pressure doing that, like being in the studio.
It was more fun, man. It was more like discovery at that time.
So that was
pressure,
self-internal.
Yeah, that was fun, man. We used to bunk school for this.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I usually wonder, like, you start off young, like you're interested in something. There's that freedom, like, you know, you're not tied down to anything. You're not committed to anything.
Yeah.
If you want to go into music, the moment you touch the microphone, it's like the whole world shifts.
You become theirs now.
Yeah, I don't know. You didn't get that going to the studio.
I did much later in my career.
Later?
Much later. But like I said early on, it was all fun. Like even coming to Lusaka for the first time, I just saw meat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was just like, ooh,
Like,
all right. Let's eat.
Let's feast. So was it just like a compilation of songs or...
It was what was supposed to be my first album.
Okay. What was it called?
It was called The Ninth Letter, Definition of Self. Ninth letter being I.
You're all about...
Yeah.
You're all about it for a moment.
I think you saw it coming. Like, he knew you were going to say
I set that one up.
Yeah. Well played.
Yeah.
All right, so...
are you into philosophy, as you say?
So, I see a lot of people usually answer that on the show. Yes, I'm into philosophy. Honest truth is, man, I'm just a dude. You know what I mean? I'm just a guy, and I know what I know.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I don't know. You know
I
what I
like
mean?
that approach.
That's just it.
You're
Like,
smart.
I'm not one of those dudes who knows everything that somebody says. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You're smart enough to know that you don't know enough.
Yeah. I don't even want to know everything.
Right?
There's not enough time for that.
Yeah, I know. I keep telling people that.
What
Like,
you're doing
I
should
used to
be complete before you cross into other...
Yeah, I used to be that guy, like, I have to understand everything. But then I just came to a point of, like, you know, not everything needs closure or clarity. You know?
And that's also just not how information works.
Exactly.
Information is an organic thing. It's constantly
Yeah.
changing.
Grows as well, yeah.
It's a gradual thing.
So you
Exponential.
never know everything.
Yeah.
Just. It's not even up to you.
It's not. I'm just a guy, like you said.
Now that
I
I'm
do.
knowledge, I think there we can get back. Okay, like knowing, right? What things do you think are essential in your path as you move? Of course, you've got your music and other things that you're doing, right? But in terms of your whole being, like who you are completely, even relationships and stuff, what elements do you think are essential to learn?
For me, a girl you love, you know, friends you trust, a beer you enjoy, you know. Like I believe like the stuff you do on your the simple things, guys. You know, like I know for a fact if they said your life's ending tomorrow, I'm gonna miss a castle. You know, I know for a fact. I've had days when like, damn, this is a good beer. You know what I mean? So I know for a fact.
It slaps harder
Yeah, it
today.
slaps harder, bro. Like, damn. It's just about like, just it all ties back to like just treating people how you want them to treat you, you know. That's what I try to surround myself with. Like open minds, like loving embraces. That's why I keep saying it's the corny stuff, and the world paints it as the corny stuff so that you don't aspire to it.
I actually honestly think it's the most crucial thing.
Yeah, it's the most important.
Without human interaction, to whatever degree, there's a lot you experience. Like the idea of being alone is so deeply embedded in most of us. When it comes out,
I'm afraid of
very
being
bad.
alone. I don't like being alone. I don't like.
Why not?
I don't trust myself around myself a lot. You know, like.
What does that mean?
Like, you know, I just figure there's certain habits that if you cultivate them, they like habits are like tools for life, right?
Yeah.
So I know that when I'm alone, I usually think about the negative things in my life.
I don't mind.
Right? So I don't like doing that.
Yeah.
I know it's not real. It's just in my mind. It's
But
it's one half of a thing.
Fun fact. the stasis spray name is actually derived from that statement you just made. So to be in stasis is to not be in motion, which metaphorically makes you pray. So it's actually it's an oxymoron.
Nice. That's dope.
Statement. It's like, so if you're in stasis, you're gonna be prey. So do not be in stasis. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You like be in stasis.
Yeah.
It's almost like a warning, like saying to be in stasis makes you pray.
Yeah.
So
I was kind of looking at it like, you know how you said being stationary makes you prey.
Yeah.
Imagine if you're the predator but you're stationary. Right? You just look like you're prey.
Darn it! I never looked at it from that angle.
You're just out here like, hey, come get me.
Wow, that's a philosopher.
You are a philosopher. Did you study history or philosophy?
I took history. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I took history.
Okay.
I took history.
Would you consider yourself a hip hop journalist as well?
No, now.
Okay,
soon.
no. Not
Journalist?
Okay.
Yeah, soon. I'm doing something that's actually leaning towards that.
I'm trying to uncover stuff. I don't want you to disclose whatever you're supposed to
not
disclose,
yet.
but
Not
not
yet.
yet. Okay, cool. Out of respect. So we're back.
I'm so curious.
We're back on the road?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so
It's this road.
we're talking your first album.
Yeah.
Do you like what you're hearing at the time?
I've always loved what I put
Oh,
out.
nice.
Yeah. I'm a fan.
Of yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're not gonna write,
I actually respect
your
people.
wife and no one else
Someone
will.
passed a comment
Yeah.
just a few. Is it the same deal? They were like, people will enjoy them because you were rapping, and then like he was listening to your song, and then you were rapping to your song.
I was proud of that verse.
And then it was like, that's kind of narcissistic.
No.
Odd man, no hands. Whoa.
No, I actually think if you have the right mentality behind your own like work, it's beautiful. Because if people are enjoying it, why shouldn't you be able to enjoy it?
Yeah. And also, I've just always wanted to make music that I can listen to.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's why I enjoy my music, because I'm hitting my quotas.
And that's
You know what I mean?
and that's why like your studio moments, I would expect you to say I was not ready for this, or this person intimidated me, or what, and it seems like your experience was so fluid.
None of that.
It's just worked out well for you.
Yeah.
They were lining up to be shot down. None of that.
Nice.
Like, I knew as soon as I walked in rooms.
Yeah.
Because I had that radio thing. So at a time that not many rappers were on radio, I was one of the few. Like, you used to hear Critic music next to like a JK song.
Yeah, I remember.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That wasn't happening.
Yeah.
Niggas had like little radio